Today on the Bandrew Says podcast, we're going to be discussing Twitch making an update that changes absolutely nothing and a couple of other things, so go ahead and stick around. Let's start by discussing this amazing update that Twitch has announced. Twitch has entered an agreement with the National Music Publishers Association, or the NMPA. I want to note that this was sent in to me by the eldest bro because I did not get this email and I did not see it listed on Twitch's blog. So eldest bro, thank you for sending this in. I will read you a couple of paragraphs out of here and then we will discuss what this means. We're excited to announce that we've entered into an agreement with the National Music Publishers Association, NMPA, to build productive partnerships between Twitch and music publishers. As part of this agreement, we want to let you know about a new process that we are creating that participating music rights holders can opt into to report certain uses of their music, which is more flexible and forgiving to creators who inadvertently or incidentally use music in their streams that the existing process required under DMCA and similar global laws. At a high level, this new process, which is distinct from the DMCA, focuses on going forward flagrant uses of music and starts with a warning instead of penalties. Now, when a participating rights holder reports the use of unauthorized music on a creator's channel, the following will occur. Similar to DMCA, we have a team that will review reports and check for completeness. Unlike DMCA, Twitch will give creators a chance to course correct by first issuing a warning. Twitch will remove any VODs and clips that contain unauthorized music from the creator's channel. If a live stream involves one or several specified flagrant music uses, example include rebroadcasting music concerts and broadcasting pre-release tracks, Twitch may also issue a warning or penalty depending on the creator's history of that kind of music use. We will have more information to share here in the coming weeks. And that is all the information that I wanted to focus on from the email. I am sure that some folks saw this and thought immediately, "Yay, DMCA is no more, we can do whatever we want." That is not the case. I want to draw your attention to a couple of words here. I think this will open your eyes if you were excited about this. We want to let you know about a new process that we are creating that participating music rights holders can opt into. What I get out of that, nothing is going to change immediately. Nothing is going to change automatically. In order for any change to occur, music rights holders are going to have to opt into this system. I don't know about you, but I personally have zero desire to opt into any new system that is some kind of massive bureaucracy, another reporting system. That seems like a nightmare. So why in the world would any music rights holder say, "Yes, one more system of bureaucracy, please. Yes, one more reporting system, please"? What kind of benefit does a music rights holder get out of this? Being kind to streamers, they don't care about that. They just care that they get their dues. They just care that their music is not being stolen or broadcast without them receiving payment. That's all they care about. They don't care about streamers. So why would any music rights holder say, "Yeah, I'll opt into this. I will opt into this and make my life more difficult. I will add another system that I have to track and report into"? Why? But for a second, let's assume that every single music rights holder does opt into this out of the goodness of their hearts. How is that going to affect you? It's really not. The only real change that I see based on this email is instead of receiving a penalty immediately, you will receive a warning. But if you're a repeat offender, then you may still get penalties against your account. Nothing has really changed. Your VODs are still going to be taken down. Your streams are still going to be taken down, at least based on this email. That's what I'm gathering. The only change is you're not going to receive a strike on your account, which I guess is a good thing. But that assumes that every single music rights holder does opt into this. If they don't opt into it, you're still going to get those DMCA takedown requests, you're still going to get those penalties, and you're not going to get this new warning. Only if a music rights holder does opt into this will you get the benefit of this new system, of this new agreement with the National Music Publishers Association, where you do not receive a penalty, you do not receive a strike, you only receive a warning. So we will have to wait and see what kind of adoption rate this has and what kind of additional bureaucratic nightmare this creates for music rights holders. If it's automatic, maybe you will see that. If Amazon or Twitch is paying them to opt into this, maybe we'll see adoption. But if it's just another reporting system that creates more work for them and they receive no real benefit other than the warm and fuzzy feeling of, oh, that Twitch streamer didn't get a strike, they just got a warning, I don't see this being adopted. So, nothing really changes here in my opinion. I am sure some people saw this and thought, oh, we have more rights and more ability to use music. You don't. You still cannot use any copyrighted material or copyrighted music in your live stream, in your VODs, in anything on Twitch. And let this be a reminder to everybody. If you do not have explicit written authority, authorization to use a copyrighted piece of material from the actual copyright holder, do not use that in your Twitch stream, in your YouTube video, in your podcasts, in your movies, in anything that you're doing. These copyright holders will find you. They have a very specific set of skills, and that set of skills is finding copyright infringement and suing you for it because they are going to get paid. They're going to get paid. This doesn't change anything. And I just wanted to share my thoughts there. You're going to get a warning instead of a strike. Cool. Don't use any copyrighted music. Just don't do it. That's pretty much all the news. Then what have I been testing? I am back on the Telefunken TF51, which is a tube microphone. It is an Elam 251 style microphone, and gall darn it, does it sound good? I used it over this weekend to record a cover of a very vulgar song, which I will not be releasing. It's just me having fun. Most of the stuff that I record, I never put out because I just do it for the lulz, do it for the fun. I covered Last Caress by the Misfits. And I have to say, this thing sounds outstanding on the acoustic guitar and on vocals. I just adore it. Much more modern sounding than the TF47, which is what you would expect. And on my voice for spoken word, I like it there too. Just wanted to point out, I am back on that after a couple weeks on the SM7B, and gosh, I love the SM7B as well. Now let's jump to what you had to say. First comment comes from Caleb, and they say, I too have had Amazon sellers solicit 5-star reviews in exchange for gift cards or free items. One was a seller of a Bluetooth earbuds that they did not honor any kind of deal, even though the product was actually great, and I really did give them a 5-star review based on the quality. But I see far more Facebook ads from brands wanting, quote, reviewers, end quote, to buy an item and get, quote, refunded, end quote, via PayPal. I smell a serious skunk in the wood pile with that. Caleb, thank you very much for the comment. This is excellent information to have. I don't use Facebook, so I did not realize this was a thing. I did not realize that companies would put out ads saying, hey, review our product. I did not realize that was a thing, but it makes perfect sense why they would do that. Solicit reviews from the general public who do not understand journalistic integrity, do not understand the impact of what they're doing, and a lot of people will say, free product? Don't mind if I do. Yes, please. But I know exactly why companies will say, go ahead and buy this product on Amazon, and then once we see a 5-star review, we will refund you via PayPal. The reason they do that is because when you click buy on Amazon and then you write a review of that product, what shows up next to your review? Verified purchaser. Verified purchaser. Even though you receive a refund, they are not refunding you through Amazon. It does not show as a return. It does not show up as a refund on Amazon. Amazon still sees that you bought that product, but you get your money back through PayPal, a third-party service. So now when people are looking at reviews on Amazon, in the past, they may have looked at that verified purchaser icon and thought, well, I can trust that review because that's somebody who actually bought the product and this is their actual opinion. They didn't receive the product for free, they bought it on Amazon. You can't trust that anymore because these companies have found a workaround. Make somebody buy the product on Amazon so they're a verified purchaser, solicit that 5-star review, and then refund that purchaser through a third-party service like PayPal. They found that workaround. Like I said last week, you cannot trust Amazon reviews. You cannot trust any online star rating reviews. You just can't do it. That's why it's important to find samples so you can actually hear stuff and see stuff with your own eyes and ears, so you can actually understand the product through your own experience as opposed to just trusting a bunch of nonsense that you read online. That's why in my reviews, I don't really share much of my opinion until the conclusion part, so people can hear all the audio samples without me tainting their opinion, without tainting their view on it. There have been a few instances where I'll tap something and it rings like a bell and say, ooh, that's rough. That's real bad. But that's apparent that it's really bad. I try to omit my opinion until the conclusion, so if somebody just wants to hear it, okay, I understand how it sounds, let's move on. I don't want to hear what this idiot has to say. You can't trust any reviews on Amazon right now because Amazon has a lot of work to do to kick off all of these sellers who do this review fraud. Because verified purchaser, that used to be a sign that you could trust a review. You can't trust them. You can't trust verified purchaser anymore because they found that workaround. Thank you very much for the email, Caleb, or the comment rather. I appreciate you. Next comment we have from Nick Nash. They say, thank you for your answer to Matt's question. I have wondered the same thing myself. Is there a good way to train your ear to differentiate the different frequencies? Thanks for the excellent podcast. I look forward to it each week. Nick, thank you very much for the comment. I have no idea why I said week, so weird. It's like milk, week. I'm an idiot. Okay, to answer your comment, to answer your question, there are some ear training programs online, but they cost money and I can't remember what they're called. I think the best way to go about learning or training your ears to hear these frequencies, record something, open up an EQ, and mess around with it. If I was trying to train my ears, what I would do, open up an EQ, create a band that has a very narrow Q, boost it 12 decibels, close your eyes, and then sweep that frequency around all over the place so you don't know where it is with your eyes closed, listen to it, and then try to decipher what frequency that is, open your eyes, see if you're right. That's what I would do. It's not really necessary because in no situation is that going to be something you have to do. You're always going to be able to sweep around and find the frequency that you're looking for that you hear. But if you want to train your ears to hear this stuff, that's what I would do. Open up an EQ and just mess around with it. Mess around. Boost the mids, boost the highs, boost the air, cut the low, do whatever you want and to really start to understand what each frequency range does, how it affects the sound of the recording, and you'll be better off. And it's free. That's the best part. You don't have to pay for some online ear training program. Hopefully that helps, Nick. Best of luck on your ear training. Next, we have a comment from Johnny, and they say, with all the expensive microphones you use, still, when you use the SM7B, you sound the best by far. Thanks for all you do, Bandrew. Johnny, thank you very much for the comment. I don't know if I 100% agree that I sound the best on the SM7B, but I will say it is the most comfortable, it is the most familiar, it is like coming home. It's like climbing into your bed after being on travel for 2 months in a hotel, and then climbing back in your bed, it's just home. It feels good. The SM7B for me is that comfortable, familiar, wonderful sounding microphone that I think sounds like me. It has that softer top end so it doesn't accentuate the horribleness in my voice. I am sure some folks will say, well, you shouldn't be talking into any microphone with that kind of voice, but hey, eat a bag of dongs. I don't care what you say. I don't care. I'm going to keep talking into microphones and you could be mad about it all you want. Not going to change a damn thing. And the madder you get, the more angry and upset you get, the more I'm going to want to talk into mics. So keep it up. I love the SM7B though. And it was my first real microphone, and I absolutely adore it. Thank you for the comment, Johnny. Last comment comes from Ralph. He says, For the 500 series discussion, you may search for high-end 500 series preamp shootout for voiceover from Arthur Tisserant's YouTube channel. Nice comparison. Ralph, thank you very much for the comment. I have actually seen this video a number of times. It is incredibly well done, and I will link it in the episode notes. If you are looking for a shootout for high-end 500 series preamps, go check the description in this video or in the episode notes in your podcatcher. There is a link to this video from Arthur Tisserant. I apologize for mispronouncing their name. Absolutely outstanding comparison between preamps. Okay, that's it for what you had to say. Let's jump to the Ask Bandrew segment. Welcome to the Ask Bandrew segment. My name is Bandrew, and this is what you asked me. If you have a question that you want answered, go to askbandrew.com. There are instructions on how to send in audio, video, and text-based questions. I do prefer audio and video because then we get to hear how you sound. We all love audio here. Let's not, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Let's not pussyfoot around it. We all like audio. And we get to hear how you sound on your stuff. That is always fun. Askbandrew.com. First, we have an email from Graham. He says, "Hi, Bandrew. Can I use the gain knob of my audio interface and use it as a mute by just turning the gain down because I need a mute button for my online meetings because I do not trust the mute button on the online meeting platforms because they sometimes unmute someone else's microphone and there we can hear what they are saying privately or hearing them burp or sneeze. Many thanks, Bandrew, and love your review videos and your podcasts." Graham, thank you very much for the question. That is excellent. And technically, I think it would be sufficient. I don't necessarily think turning the gain all the way down would be negative infinity. I don't think it's a proper mute, but also the physical solution that I'm about to recommend is also not a proper mute. It is the Rolls MS111 mic switch. It's a little button that acts as a mute button. And the reason I'm saying this isn't a proper mute is it's not negative infinity. It is, I believe, it attenuates the signal by 40 or 50 decibels. So in most cases, you're not going to hear a darn thing. Most of these softwares have some kind of noise gate built into them that destroys our audio, makes us sound like trash, but that also means if your signal is negative 50 decibels, negative 60 decibels, negative 70 decibels, it's not going to be picked up through your voice app thing. So technically, yes, you could turn the gain down. The reason I wouldn't necessarily do that is if I am not at 100% and then turn it all the way down, it's going to be difficult to get your gain back to exactly where you had it. Then you might end up clipping, distorting, sounding like absolute trash, and nobody wants to sound like trash on these meetings unless you hate your coworkers. I almost called them employees. I don't know if you're the boss or not. I would personally opt for a physical mute button because that's what I already have. But to save money, sure, turn the gain down. Not going to be negative infinity, I do not believe, in most cases, but it would be more than sufficient. Thank you very much. Next, we have a voice submission from Dracomes. Take it away, Dracomes.
Hey, Bandrew, wanted to go ahead and do a microphone request here. I would love a review of the Rode NTG5. Basically, there's a lot of talk about the Rode NTG5 in the audio and text sections of Voice Acting Discord and Audio Engineering, and they keep talking about this microphone. They keep saying that it's just as smooth. I mean, it's just as good as an MKH416 for a fraction of the price, and it's really, really smooth. It doesn't have some of the sibilance that sometimes the 416 has, and I'm super curious about it. I've actually seen Curtis Judd's review, and the NTG5 sounds really great there, but I would really love to hear your review, because, being honest here, some people with microphones, they sound great on everything, just like, and you can't tell. Versus, I feel that with your reviews, I actually find them incredibly valuable because I know your voice pretty well because I've seen all of your microphone reviews over the years, and I can tell like when a microphone sounds more smooth on you, or when it's more bassier, or when it's more tinnier, or when it's more shrill, or when there's more this and that. You just can tell with your voice, and I would be really curious to hear how the 416 sounds with the NTG5. That's my first request. My second request would be, I would love a review of the Soyuz 17. I know that you did a review of the Soyuz bomblet, but I'm really more curious about the Soyuz 17. If you can actually find some time to get that done. I know those things they're really, really expensive, and they take a while to ship over, but that microphone to me sounds incredibly smooth, and I'm just curious to see how it sounds. But most importantly, would love the review of the Rode NTG5, because this microphone, they just keep talking about it, and I'm going to be frank and honest with you. Up until this point, I haven't seen a viable MKH416 sort of competitor. I've checked out the DDS Mic 2. I've checked out the Cinco. I've checked out the NTG3. I've checked out like various shotgun microphones, and they just don't match up to the 416. But there's a lot of engineers that are saying, you got to check out the Rode NTG5. This thing is fucking legit. And apparently it came out literally just 2 years ago, December 2019. And would love to get your thoughts on that. And that's all I wanted to say. All right, take care. You have a good one.
Thank you very much for the voice submission. Great question, and it is your lucky day. When I was listening to that, I was thinking, the Rode NTG5, that sounds very familiar. And I looked on my bookshelf. Rode had sent me this microphone, and I had completely forgotten about it. It was just sitting on the shelf. I had it set up. I had taken it out. I had used it a bit, and I forgot that I had it. But that means I can give you a very quick comparison between the NTG5 and the 416. Right now, I have the NTG5 running into the 18920, gain at 11 o'clock, no foam or anything on it. And there you go. That is the NTG5. And now I'm on the Sennheiser MKH416. I did increase my gain to 1 o'clock from 11 o'clock, so the 416 is quite a bit more gain hungry than the Rode. But just a very quick comparison, lots more top end on the 416 to my ears as I'm recording it. I won't know for certain until I listen back to it, but what do you hear? You tell me what you hear between the 416 and the NTG5, but let's go ahead and switch back to the NTG5, not the NGT, NTG5, and do another quick switch back and forth. And here we are again back on the NTG5, same distance, same gain setting, and I just wanted to provide another quick jump back and forth so you can hear them. So you can hear how it sounds on my voice. This is not a full review. This is just a quick sample because you asked for it. I realized I had the microphones, and why not then? Why not offer a quick sample? Okay, let's jump to the Sennheiser. Why did I say it like that? And here we are again on the MKH416, 6 inches off, gain at 1 o'clock. There you go. Very quick spoken word comparison between the Sennheiser, and the Rode, I don't know why I'm speaking like that, and the Rode NTG5. Hope that helped. Okay, tell me in the comments, and let's go to the next question that you had, I think. Wow, Past Bandrew, that was so incredibly helpful. We appreciate you so much. Now we have a full understanding of how these microphones sound and perform. You're the best. Nobody's thinking that. Then you said, some people's voices sound good on every single microphone. On my videos, you can tell when a microphone isn't good. You're absolutely right. There are some folks who just have that golden voice that sounds great on everything. And that is wonderful, good, great, grand, and it's a joy to listen to them. With me, kinda not the case. The way I put it is, other people's voices might be enjoyable to listen to, but my voice is a stress test on these microphones. If there's something unappealing about a microphone, my voice is going to pick it out. My voice is going to make it abundantly clear where that microphone falls short, because my voice is not some billion-dollar voice that will last me forever and make me the voice of movies. That's not the case. My voice isn't great, but my voice is kinda standard. I think a lot of people have voices that aren't golden radio voices. A lot of people just have voices that are whatever. And my voice is kinda whatever. It's gotten a lot better over 6 years of talking nonstop into microphones because I've learned how to properly do it. But yeah, my voice is a stress test on microphones. Then you ask about a Soyuz 17 review. I don't know if that is just tube or if there's a tube and FET version, but there is no plan to do a Soyuz 017 review right now. And there's a number of reasons. First, I am really far behind on reviews. I have stacks of stuff I need to get to, especially tube mics. I have been putting those off. I have a stack of small diaphragm condensers that I have to review, and I'm really far behind. Secondly, that's a really expensive mic. I think it goes for $3,000, and I don't have the budget or the bandwidth or whatever you want to call it to afford that many $3,000 microphones. It's very rare that I can afford a microphone of that quality, especially as over the last year, views, ad rates, ad sales, ad views, sale, affiliate marketing, all of that has just tanked as COVID has kind of waned. And people say, screw it. I don't care what's going on. I'm going outside because I'm losing my gosh darn mind. As that's happened, I don't really have the budget to say, yes, I will take another $3,000 microphone, please. So I'm getting back down to just doing more normal microphones. But while I was able to, I stacked up on some nicer microphones like the TF51 so that when times are a little bit leaner, I'm still able to review really cool stuff. Maybe the worst business decision, but as an audio enthusiast, I'm glad I made that decision. And third, it's really hard to justify spending $3,000 on a microphone or buy any really expensive microphone when it's from a lesser known brand and it likely won't generate massive amounts of traffic. And the reason that I'm pointing that out is even though I started the channel and continue to run the channel purely out of my interest in audio gear, I still need to be strategic and think about what I am spending my money on to ensure the channel is able to grow and ensure that if I don't get something, I'm able to afford to buy it to review it. So dropping $3,000 on a microphone that I am not sure will get sufficient traffic to pay it off. I looked up the U87. I spent $3,600 on that thing, and that video alone has earned me $400. So I have $3,200 more to recoup from buying the U87. And that's the U87, the microphone, the voiceover microphone. The Soyuz 017, I don't mean any offense to Soyuz, but I just don't think that it has that same recognition as the U87. So I would be much less likely to recuperate those costs of a $3,000 microphone. I would love to try it. I'm not saying no, I won't review it, but currently it's not on the schedule. It's not on the schedule. All right, that's it. Dracomes, thank you very much. And the last submission, the last Ask Bandrew comes from Stevens. They say, hi, could you suggest me a price quality dynamic microphone plus audio interface / mixer like the Go XLR? Perrin, I'm a Voice Meter Banana user but want to switch to something similar. And Perrin ? I don't want to spend much money too. I need a dynamic mic because I have background noises plus fan noises while using the PC. Right now, I'm using a Rode NT USB, but it's giving me a headache setting a right gain, plus trying to remove noises with EQ, noise gate, etc., and I also think of static noises on my mic. I've been looking at the Samson Q2U, SM57, SM58, SEV7, SM58 Beta, Rode Podcaster, and Rode PodMic, but I don't know which would be the best for me. Thanks. Okay. Don't buy the Rode Podcaster. That's my first thing I will say. If you are actually saying the Rode Podcaster, do not buy that. I don't think you mean the Rode Podcaster because you say you're looking for a dynamic mic and an audio interface, and the Rode Podcaster is in fact a USB microphone. That's the white microphone for $240, $230, $230, I think. If you mean Rode Procaster, big thumbs up from me. In my imperfect tests, I want to point out my tests are not perfect. When I was comparing all those broadcast dynamic microphones, there have been a number more that have been released that are more affordable. But at the time, of all the mics I compared, I found the Rode Procaster to do the best at background noise rejection. That test did not include any handheld dynamics, so I can't tell you with any certainty, with any testing to back it up, whether or not the Procaster does a better job as any of those handhelds. But if I had the choice of that litter of mics that you just listed, Rode Procaster or the SEV7, if I was going XLR route, those are the two I would be looking at. Then as far as the audio interface / mixer, like the Go XLR question, why not the Go XLR or Go XLR Mini? That might work for you. But as far as something cheaper, there's not really a mixer that is cheaper. Full disclosure, this was sent to me by PreSonus so I could review it. I've been testing it for a couple of months at this point, but the PreSonus IO24 is probably the closest to that. It does have the digital routing software or digital mixer. It has processing on each microphone input. Does not have sound pads, does not have physical faders or anything, but that would probably be the closest and the most affordable. If you do want higher quality stuff, then start looking at Universal Audio. But now that I mentioned that you're using Voice Meter Banana, that means you're a Windows user. Universal Audio does not play well with Windows, so steer clear of Universal Audio. And that's, you say you don't want to spend a lot of money, so yeah, definitely steer clear of Universal Audio. The PreSonus Revelator IO24 is probably what I would recommend if you're trying to get that functionality but more affordable. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. Steven or Stevens, I appreciate you, and thank you to everybody who sent in questions. Thank you to everybody who listened. You are incredible. I like you. I think you're pretty swell. I think the world thinks you're swell. You're a special kind of boy or girl. You're a special one. You over there. I'm an idiot. All right, that's going to wrap up for today. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate you in particular. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a great Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Next Sunday, I will talk at you, and bye.
This has been a Geeks Rising production. Your executive producer is Bandrew Scott. For more information, head over to www.geeksrising.com.